Namaskar, everyone. This is Ravindra Rao with yet another series of Beyond the Boardroom. Our guest today is the person who keeps our dreams from becoming, or at least keeps them within budget. They are the only person I know who can find excitement in a spreadsheet and loophole in a lunch receipt. Some call them guardians of gold, some say cash is king, but we say Pankaj Malik, who's my next guest on episode 3 of Beyond the Boardroom. So thank you, Pankaj, for taking time off. I know busy schedule, lot of work, lots of things to do, and it's great to have you on my show.
Thank you, Ravi, for having me.
Thanks. So uh, let's look back. You spent a considerable amount of time in this franchise. You've seen cycles. You've seen change of shareholders. You've also seen various changes in the regulatory landscape, the financial space, a lot of accounting standards which have come in. The methodology of financial calculations have changed. So, how do you, if you really look back today on a Friday afternoon, how do you resonate yourself with the changes that have been made in this particular landscape?
See, I have spent now close to 2 decades, right, in this organization and enterprise, and I have seen, as you rightly said, that not only change of the colleagues, but change of the shareholder, and also the 5 CEOs I've worked in the company, right? The 6th CEO I'm working right now.
Wow.
So it's a quite a journey, I must say that, right? In 2007, when I joined, we were in different shape, different goals, different environment. And in this time period, we have seen various cycles hitting the company. And every cycle, the good news is that we came stronger than we were before the cycle. Be it the GFC, thereafter Demon, then the IL&FS crisis happened, thereafter the COVID, and recently the over leveraging issue, what we have been all be grappling with in the last 1.5 years. So the key ingredients of the enterprise, right, are all there and which always help us to come stronger. And that makes us also the people who are working for the company for a longer time is also more knowledgeable. And we have seen the cycles and it helps in delivering a safer future for the company.
In this entire journey, how do you see your own maturity profile changing? Because you've also grown both professionally, personally, and how do you see yourself, combating to this change? How have you enriched yourself?
I would say entirely is not in the minor percentages. Where I am today, what I am today is very different from how I entered the organization in 2007. And this is not something specifically for Pankaj Malik. It's specifically for, I think, the overall the environment in which we are operating. The organization then, Fullerton India, right, was in very different regulatory environment. Competition was very different. And the challenges were very different. And those challenges are no more there. Today, in the last 5 years, things have completely upside down, completely. It's a very different environment. And hence, to cater to that, and we also need to change. To my mind, the changes have been in every few years, not only organization change, even individuals have progressed and changed in light with the new environment and new competition, be it the new technology, and all that has kind of shaped the organization and the individuals as well, including me.
So, in the last, I would say, 18 years, I've had the opportunity of working with you for about 7, 8 years. I wanted to know how has your eyesight really changed? You wear specs, so how has your power shifted? Because you are microscopic, you can point loopholes, you know on a horizontal or on a vertical basis whether one number AA45 is making sense to KJ74. So how do you manage that without affecting your eyesight? Now, you first tell me whether your eyesight has changed. Has it increased?
I think the more clear it has become over a period of
No,
time.
no, no. You're asking very politically
No,
question. So you first tell me, has your eyesight increased over years?
the clarity has gone multiple times up. Maybe the number of the glasses
CFO
has
will never
is
give you right
exactly the
answers on
same.
current numbers. Okay.
I think as we grow, as we get more gray hairs, and as we lose hair, and at the same time, at least I've seen that clarity has become more and more as we get vintage in the industry in which we are working. And as I said, that with various the credit cycles, what we have seen is we are becoming more sharper, more clearer, and that is something I can say in the last 18 years we are much clearer, and clarity of thoughts are there, clarity of where we want to go, clarity of what we need to do to achieve there is much sharper now versus when we met first time.
But tell me more. I mean, what is your love and obsession about looking at Excel spreadsheets?
Who says that I have a love for the Excel sheet?
I don't know. You keep looking
No.
at Excel spreadsheet and point out mistakes and point out their answers. So, and putting things in either in green or red or in parentheses, right? So, I mean, I just really wanted to know, and I think all of us are really enthralled because it is a person who manages finances specifically, and we also look at various levels of data in our normal lives in whatever roles, for example, that I played. Obviously, we play with Excel. We That's our lifeline, but you definitely have uh, a unique quality of relating to numbers, making numbers talk, and spotting probably a issue in the way a department is to function, the way the financials stack up. You definitely have that knack. So what's the secret sauce?
See, I will say Excel is a tool. My passion or the love is for increasing the franchise value, right? And for achieving that as a goal, or that is from the day one, right? It's not that today after 20 years, it is from the day one. The key goal is to how to increase the value for the shareholder, how to make every single rupee what we spend today count more than what others could have done it. So for making that, right, is first is to have clarity, second is to use an Excel sheet to put a flashlight on those things which others otherwise could not have been caught it. So I believe as a CFO and as a finance team, one of the key role is also to put a flashlight on the blind side where people can't see, right? Because everybody is having a that which they can't see. So the I believe finance role is also to put a flashlight on that so that everybody can see. It's not to blame that department or blame that individual, is to but so that we can again ultimate game which I told you is to increase the franchise value, enterprise value, because we need to fix that today. So tomorrow that light will be on somewhere else. But I think that's a role what we play, and Excel helps us in achieving that goal.
Do you sleep at all at night? And how many hours do you sleep if you go to sleep? Because you're
Very
always
nice.
awake.
No, I do sleep. I sleep very nicely. And the reason I sleep nicely because we, as the nature, as the function which I handle or head, is to ensure that all the matters which needs to take my sleep away, I need to predict earlier. And finance team is known for doing a scenario planning, and which all of us should be doing it to ensure that we sleep at night with ease. So we need not to think about it tomorrow if it happens what we'll do. Certainly I need to prepare well in advance. If it happens, it should not take my sleep away, because I had thought about it 2 months earlier, 2 years earlier, and that event has not happened till now, but I have a call to action is ready, so I sleep easy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've seen it all. We've gone through a lot of peaks and lows. But what you said is absolutely right. I think we've emerged
Yes.
probably as a far mature organization. We've learned from our mistakes, and and I think what you said is absolutely right because we were prepared with various scenarios. We said if this happens, we will invoke this, etc., etc. But that I think is a very powerful statement that you make is that your job is to largely do scenario planning.
Yeah,
Okay.
scenario planning in every area. I can talk
Yes.
about doing a stress testing on our portfolio. What if the leverage goes further up? What will happen to that?
Correct.
Do we have the resources? What kind of actions we need to do it? What if today the market goes bad and there's no funding available? So we do the stress testing of that much in advance. So we know exactly what 5 actions we need to do it to handle that. What if some other macro situation happen, and how we'll handle the capital adequacy in that way. So I think these are all is ingrained in our organization. That is not Pankaj speaking; it's the organization, the way we have set up as the entire team for so many years. That gives comfort, and that yes, we are prepared for any eventuality. But yes, something still can happen, which we have not done it. But we will learn from it as well.
Today, in our consumer lending space, uh, if I have to ask you, what are the top two things which come to your mind that we need to be careful of? Okay. And this may be wearing your CFO lens or otherwise. But what are the top two things that we need to be mindful and careful uh, in the current context?
So, Ravi, if I look back, right, uh, the things have been changing very fast. I will say in the last 18 years, the last 4 5 years have been a transformational. The way things are getting changed, technology is changing, customer behaviors are changing, customer preferences are changing, the younger generation expectation as an employees are changing, regulations are changing even faster than what we could think of, right? So, in the light of so many changes happening, if we stick to our old habits, will not lead to the results what we all aspire to deliver for the organization. I think what you are asking me is that we need to have been agile, nimble-footed, and do the course correction very quickly as things evolve. And even we don't know tomorrow how the things regulation will change, right? So we need to be nimble-footed, I will say that, and be aware that things will change. So I think taking change as a constant thing and keep working on that is something I will say is must to have. Second, very important in our industry and the business when we are dealing with, in our case, 23,000 people, we have millions of customers, and and that's very important for us to have a wow from our customers and our internal customers or the stakeholders. So I think that can bring even further valuation for us as an entity, right? And that can help us in achieving the next level of growth, because customers are becoming choosy. Customers are seeing now the services are available at the click of button, right? And what will distinguish us, what our CEO has been also be demanding from all of us, that we need to be give a far superior customer service to our customers and the stakeholders, be it the lenders here in that case, be it the regulators, or be it the customer to whom we really serve, is something which, to my mind, is equally important for all of us to recognize and work. And we are working in that direction as an institution.
Yeah. So it's largely agility. And second of all, providing uniform customer experience to all our customers. And so that it's also the brand that kind of gets enhanced. Uh, I want to spend some time talking about the recent initiative that we've launched, which is around Sarvotam in terms of quality. So, when we are talking about quality, there is one thing that resonates around it is proper financial planning and execution capability, because there is no room in the current world to make mistakes. You have to get it right first time. It's all about quality, because today, as a customer, if we have to go and select a product, we will go and select probably a qualitative product, no matter you might pay an extra price for the same. So, in the context of quality, can you link up quality that you want to see in the financials versus what we see? Can you link up between financials and the normal business opportunities that we see in terms of quality?
As our CEO has also said, right, multiple times, we need to grow. We need to grow responsibly, but we need to grow with full focus on the quality in everything what we do, and we entirely co and the whole of the team are working in that area. And in addition to that, I think there are a couple of most important concepts or the disciplines or the culturally what we are doing right now, as you know well aware, is that to show a high quality or high focus on the integrity, transparency, honesty, and the respect. All taken together creates our reputation, right? And we have been well recognized in the market as the most respectable organization, and that gives us also the employees a reason to join, because this is an entity where people want to associate with it. I have seen many times when we need to hire people, we are able to get the best of the talent because of these qualities what we are embodied in the company. And that acts as a magnet for people to join us and then contribute for our success. Because we are in the people business, right, as I mentioned earlier as well, and they are the biggest asset for all of us, although those people does not appear in my balance sheet, you may say, but that's an accounting thing. But the real asset is people, and they join us, not for individual, not for me or you. I guess they are joining for the company and the brand and the reputation and the corporate governance what we bring on the table, which is linked to the Sarvottam theme. What our boss has been saying from the day he joined is that we need to be Sarvottam in every aspect of life. And to my mind, it is not only a corporate slogan, but we are talking about it. It's all the people in the ground who are listening to this podcast or who have listened to earlier. It's Sarvottam. We have to achieve Sarvottam. We have to be Sarvottam in the area what we are responsible for. If I'm looking into the branch manager, he needs to be think about all his actions, all his interaction, all his day-to-day life. It is going toward the Sarvottam goal or not? Similarly, I expect from my finance guy as well that if he is working and deducting the TDS, dealing with the vendor, whether he is ensuring that he will give a wow factor, Sarvottam, he will reach to the top level of experience to the vendor. So I think it's embedded right now. It is the last 3 months we are echoing it. At least in my discussion with with our very caliber, very smart people, what we have in the company, in discussion, I also tell them that you have to raise the bar now. We have achieved what we have achieved it, but if we want to go to Sarvottam, we need to raise the bar, and time is now. And when we raise the bar, we need to see that we do check how are we spending our day, how are we spending our month, how are we spending our year, and do reflect on a regular basis and do a change correction and course correction in a way. You said that yeah, we need to do the things at the right first time, but I believe even if we don't do at the first time on some matters, accept your mistake and then do a course correction and then learn from that mistake and go for it, so that you reach to the top. And that's the messaging what I have, what I believe all of us needs to really imbibe and go for.
So, if there is a new graduate who's joining any finance team, in our case for that matter, who's joining you, uh, how would you like to tell him that every rupee matters the most? How will you teach him?
See, my first and fundamental principle is every cost is not bad cost. In fact, I want people to spend money, but spend on the right way. Cut cost is not the slogan. Spend cost rightfully in the right areas is the right way. If people are not coming to me and asking for the approvals, I will be really concerned, because I want them to spend time and energy and their focus on the digitization, on thinking about newer ways of doing it, even if it affects the cost now, as long as they can prove that yes, it will help second year, third year, and it will help us in staying ahead of the competition. This is a good cost. So, in my discussion to that guy, if he joins first, I will simply say, don't say no to the cost. Evaluate it. Look for options how you can use that cost in a better way, and then go ahead and say yes or no to it.
Actually, on that point, I was wondering, why are people scared of CFOs? I'm not. I wasn't. You've been always very welcoming, and I really didn't have to hesitate any time to walk up to your room. But in general, and I'm not talking about our organization, in general, people are very scared of CFOs. People don't want to argue with them. People don't want to kind of get into a debate with them. They just say, okay. I mean, but at the same time, when they come out, they say, "Yaar, CFO ne mana kar diya." Okay, but what? Why is this? I mean, I'm not really being able to understand. That's a couple of times. Even I also said that. But that's a different scene.
Uh, Difficult question. You need to ask the guy who is feeling scared and why he's feeling scared. All of us are having CFO in it, right? In a way, maybe some people are misusing CFO's name to say no to their teams. That maybe we need to really see exactly what's happening behind the scene. But yes, I think all of us needs to, we are CFOs in every life, right? We all personally also spend money, take those calls, whether it's a right way of spending, and whether it's helping us or what kind of benefits you are getting by spending or not. But I think in CFO's life is very small aspect. There are many more things. But yes, most of the people will see CFO from the expense point of view because their dealings are with respect to the seeking approval on the limited aspect of taking approvals for the capex, approval for the opex, approval for the events. I think as a part of the finance job is also to review and say no wherever it is required to say no, and support wherever they can. So I think it is bound to lead to some bit of.
Because I always believe that if you're able to differentiate between these two, then you're sorted. But more often than not, we kind of get confused. So, what is your recipe to kind of comment between a healthy growth versus an expensive growth? And if you can kind of quote some instances that you've kind of come across where you're able to clearly bring out this difference.
See, in the financing business, we all know, right? The growth can be achieved very easily. Funding and giving money to the people is very simple. You can do 100% growth. But real business start when you go and collect that money, right? You make money when you collect the first EMI. You don't make money at the time of disbursal. So it's certainly the growth without quality, without profitability is useless growth. So what we all need to focus at, what we focus at SMFG India is that when we lend to someone, we should be sure, we should be reasonably sure, and based on the data and based on the surrogates, yes, the money will come back to us. And that gives the comfort. Yes, money will come back. We will deliver the results to the stakeholders, and that will able to grow the franchise value. What I said earlier. But in the whole the activity, we need to see that the growth is reasonable at the same time, because if you set up the target of 50% growth, you are bound to stumble and bound to fail because the market is not growing with that. So the right growth is which is in line with the macro. If the macro is benign, you can grow at a healthy rate. If the macro level stress are there, even if you have an ambition, you have skill set, you have all the ingredients of funding and the capital, the growth should be muted because the macro is not right. So because when you are lending to a guy, he is credit worthy, but if the macro is not right, he will soon be not worthy of getting the funding, and then you may not able to get the money back. So the healthy growth is comparative, is also based on the situation in which you are.
If you want to gift one financial habit to me, what would it be and why?
Save now, spend later.
Save now, spend later.
Because the
Okay.
compounding effect will give you a multiplier effect in the years to come.
Do you ever go to a shopping mall and all of that, or on a weekend you kind of think that you should save now and spend later, and the later never comes, or has the later come in your life?
Yes, later has come.
Later has come. Okay.
Maybe this advice was for 20 years back, you, not now. Now is to spend more.
Okay. Now is to spend
Now
more.
is to spend more because
Okay.
you have a lot of earning already.
Okay.
So
That
you
way.
spend more.
Okay. So Pankaj, getting into our core business and where we are embarked on a transformation journey. There are spends that we have already made. We're now looking for certain amount of benefits out of the spends that we've already done. So, over the next 2 years, what is your key message to our frontline teams who can kind of strengthen our balance sheet strength?
We are very privileged as an institution that the board and the CEO has approved a material investments in the technology, in premises, in building the capabilities in the last 3 years. To throw a number, in 2021, we were at 1 billion of technology OpEx. Today we are 5 billion plus. Similarly, is the situation in the office we are sitting right now. And in Mumbai itself, all 3 offices were built in the last 5 years. And we have changed our registered office in Chennai a year back, is a state-of-art new office. So all these have been spent now, invested. Our cost to income ratio, which used to be 35%, has gone to 60% thereabout. Is it a bad thing or a good thing? So the answer lies not straightway. Higher cost to income seems like a bad thing, but if it is done for the right purpose of putting the company first and ensuring that we are setting the right foundation before we start running a long marathon. Now it is our job to deliver and to ensure that we use those technology investment and deliver the higher productivity and to deliver higher and better customer experience so that we have better margins and better ROA and ROEs and so on and so forth. So it's very important for our 23,000 people to really look into and leverage this investment what we have done it. We have done it two set of investment, one in the technology, and most of the technology investments are going live or some of them has gone live in the last 6 months. So our key job is to really leverage that. If some minor tweaking is required, raise your hand, go to technology, go to your senior and get that done. Our job is to bring back the 35% sooner than later because the board has trusted us. They have given us the necessary money and the capital, and we have used that to upgrade our infra, both the physical and the technology infra. And now is the time for all of us to really put that technology in the offices on the work and deliver the higher productivities and so forth, and so that we can ultimately get higher our ROA and ROEs, which we have committed while getting the investment done. Second, very important, which I see is what I mentioned in the earlier, is that we may go slightly wrong in doing the activity, but very important is to do a course correction fast. So I believe for sure, if we are going for a long journey, then if you are slightly misaligned from your path, after 10 years, you may be reaching very different place where you don't want to be. So it's very important that if you are misaligned, you need to reflect. Reflection has to be a habit now. It is not an option. Reflection has to be a habit. Course correction has to be your strength. So you need to course correct. I'm not saying don't make mistake. You will make mistake. If you work, you will make mistake. But do a course correction very, very promptly and correctly, and take help of your senior if you need, and then implement that and execute that, and so that you remain on the path of Sarvottam, which is the message our CEO is giving. We all need to go and become Sarvottam in our area. And I think reflection as a habit, course correction as a strength, so that we can move together, not individual, together towards the Sarvottam, is my view, Ravi.
No, thank you. I think it's a great view, and I think you've summarized it very well. So now let me shift a bit of a gear. If you were not a CFO, what would you ideally like to become? There's a follow-up question coming. Why? But first, you answer this question.
See, CFO is not my choice, right? As I told
So
you
tell us
earlier.
more. So how did you
Yeah.
choose?
See, I believe as I said, my passion is to create a value for the organization, right? And I believe CFO helps in achieving that because CFO is not looking into one aspect of the business. It cuts through all, be it the business, credit, underwriting, risk, operations, technology. Somewhere you need to have holistic understanding of all the functions. So CFO helps me in achieving my passion. So I will like to be in that wherever it helps me in achieving that ultimate goal of increasing the franchise value is the area where I want to be.
Yeah, and you keep us very honest. You keep us, to at least show us the mirror to say where we are going wrong, and so that as an organization and as individuals, working for the organization, we can do a bit of course correction as well. I want you to describe one scenario where there is a board meeting that is scheduled. The quarter has not been good. It's been a very challenging quarter, and each time in the last, say, 90 days, you've really had a lot of palpitations. You're walking to the boardroom to present. Things are not in your favor. What goes through your mind? What do you think at the time?
See, I believe surprise-free environment, right? So if I'm walking towards the boardroom knowing something not good, knowing me, I would have briefed everyone possible with that scenario. So I will not have that any palpitation that, oh, how will I present? Because I think this is a philosophy and I think we all of us follow it. I'm stating it to have a surprise free. I'm not here to surprise the board. If the bad news, it would have gone earlier. So I think that's what I expect from my teams as well. If you ask any of my team members, say what Pankaj demand, and he demands surprise, no surprise. If you come to know a bad news, come and deliver to me, no hesitation at all. Tell me with full transparency, honesty, and we will together solve it. And hence, I believe that that day will not come that I need to worry about before I'm entering the boardroom.
You talked about your team, and your team is aware of this podcast because I leaked the information to them.
Okay.
So they had kind of told me to ask you. So again, this question is on behalf of your team. There are about quite a few questions, but I will just summarize it in one. What's a work ritual of yours
Yes.
that your team teases you, but you admire such kind of statements? A work ritual.
So I will talk about. I don't know about what my
Your team. It's your team who's made us ask
but
this
I will tell
question.
you, my ritual is certainly coming. 8:30, 8:15 in the morning, and starting the day early, and telling the team also to come right, and so that discussion should start early on the business, and that's a ritual I follow. And we all have been telling the teams as well to come on time. 9:30 means 9:30. And the reason, because if let me make one more statement, I think it's not that if they come at 9:35 something will happen, but it's a discipline.
Yeah.
But if they don't follow the discipline of 9:30, they will not follow the discipline of doing an account reconciliation on time. So I have had a good and a tough discussion with my team members. A person says, "Oh, I went late. How does it matter?" But I believe it's not that I'm not sympathetic about going late, but we need to respect that discipline what we are trying to bring, and that's very important in our business because we can grow only when we follow the discipline. Second part which I am very passionate about is an execution. Let's accept we have a problem of giving a date and not executing it. And I think that's a message which my team is well aware, and the people who are listening as well, is that that's what we need to change and go to Sarvottam. Sarvottam means that we need to meet to the commitments. Once we commit, we will not change it. And we have been not meeting our timelines, not meeting the dates what we give it to the CEO and to other committees, and we have been seeing this. So I think that's a change we need to bring it. And once you commit, deliver, execute, 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 discipline, discipline, discipline. These are the couple of statements which I keep meeting with my
And
team as
Sarvottam,
well
Sarvottam, Sarvottam. So that is
to
where
lead to Sarvottam.
that is where it will ultimately lead to. It's a journey. It's a journey of
Yes.
it's a self-enrichment journey, and that's, I think, something that we've all cleverly embarked on. There are a lot of people who like you, and they have asked me that they want to know more about you. Therefore, there is a rapid fire.
Okay.
Okay, you have an option of not responding as well, but it might not be the right option. Uh, First love, someone special, or Excel.
Pass.
Okay, coffee, tea, or cash flow chats.
Coffee with cash flow chart.
Okay, budget meetings, 9 a.m. sharp, or post lunch peace talks. You know who would answer that question?
Budget meeting at 8:30.
Okay, your team is quite smart. One financial term you'd like to ban.
Indiscipline.
A book or podcast you recommend to first time managers.
Do it today.
Okay.
And I really believe, please do it today.
Okay.
Read the book, very nice book.
Okay. Spreadsheet shortcut you can't live without.
Control C, Control V.
Copy paste.
Even our life, I wish I could do.
Okay. Okay. Describe the CFO role in one word. That's my question. I'm very honest. I'm telling you the question they asked.
Strategist.
Okay. Now I come back, giving you one more option. First love, someone special or Excel spreadsheet.
Someone special.
One piece of advice you would like to give people to think like a CFO.
I think that is to see all the actions what we do and link to the bottom line. And think about the bottom line, how the ROA and ROEs will work. And that's very important. Even customer interaction, it can be linked to the bottom line. Even then, a trip and having a lunch with your team can be linked to the bottom line. And think about it: is it a healthy expense? Is it a healthy interaction? Is it going to help me in delivering a better returns to the stakeholders? Is something which I believe everyone should see.
So we are ending this financial year and we've got yet another year of new dreams. There's a vision and there's a huge responsibility on all of us to deliver. What's your last and a parting statement that you wish to make to the teams on the ground?
Be Sarvottam in whatever you do and focus on execution, because that will only lead you to Sarvottam.
Thank you, Pankaj. Pleasure to have you on the show. I thoroughly enjoyed. While I thought you had minced some words during the rapid fire, but that's the CFO who don't place all his cards on the table. But thank you very much for watching this third episode. And that was Pankaj Malik for you. And this is Ravindra Rao bringing you this particular episode unadulterated and uncensored. Thank you very much for watching.
Thank you.